Can you guess what we're doing today, listeners? This is a little bit of a jump. We've changed schedule a little bit. Last week I said it was Timmy C, or Timothy Chalamet, I should say it properly.
Yeah, we're doing an Olivia Newton-John actor special. We're talking about how much we love Grease.
We are actually bringing forward our physical media episode. So Ollie, you messaged us saying that you wanted to do 2 recordings this week because you were so buzzed about this episode and recording it. It's something we're all passionate about. Partners probably don't like the fact that we collect so much sometimes. I've bought stuff down from the loft which has been banished. It's allowed downstairs, but I've bought it down. You've got a nice collection with you as well, so we're just going to kind of have a show and tell our memories of it, and Ollie's got a little bit of history behind it and some little facts and that, so it's kind of more, it really is a relaxed one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're going to show our love for physical media, because it's especially now in the moment we're in, physical media it's having such a massive boom. Every single steelbook usually sells out within a week. Every kind of collector's edition of something, not just film, but music, vinyls, cassettes are coming back. VHSs are coming back. Alien Romulus there was a VHS edition that you could get in America, which they're reprinting again because it was so popular and kept selling out. Like VHS is coming back. It's mad. And I think I read something recently. I can't remember. There's 2 studios that are considering doing regular VHS releases. Did any of you see that?
No.
I can't. Yeah, there's 2 studios. I don't think they named them, but there are 2 studios talking about doing a regular. I think maybe for like their biggest release of the year, maybe. But physical media is coming back.
Sick.
People are sick of going to what. It fucks me off whenever I go to say, oh yeah, I'll watch that, and then it's nowhere to be found, and you have to rent it. It was like, well, if I'm going to rent it, and I might as well buy it.
It's always taken off the day before you want to watch it.
Yeah, or it's got like 30 days left, but that 30 days was 29 days ago.
Yeah. I'm always one for going onto the platforms and then getting there's a lovely, Amazon Prime is great for this. They always have that lovely little byline near the bottom going, titles expiring in 30 days. And I always go, oh, I really want to watch that. I must make sure to remember to watch it. I'll add to my watch list, and then I never do. and then like 2 months later, I'll go, oh yeah, I really wanted to watch Dead Calm with Sam Neill or whatever, and I'll go look on Amazon Prime, and it's like, oh, you got to buy it for 7 months. Oh.
There's been times when I've started watching something like really late at night, and then I was like, oh, I can't stay awake, so I'll pause it, carry on the next day, and then the next day it's gone off. So then I have to do I wait for it or do I buy it? Like, it's a conundrum that I hate being in. But yeah, hopefully physical media. It won't ever overtake streaming. Are we too far into streaming, would you say?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is why it is going to make for such a great episode, because there's so much to talk about. Like this, the day and date release pattern and the speed with which titles go to streaming has become like a huge debate. And what was it you were talking about the other day? We were recording, and you said that a film, was it Minecraft?
Yeah.
So we're recording this on the 15th of April, and Minecraft has been out here in the UK for like a fortnight, if that, like a week and a half. And Dan said the other day that it was already available to purchase for video on demand at home. But also I think it's going to be an interesting chat. We're, the 3 of us at this table, kind of uniquely positioned in that, like many people our age, we've lived through almost every golden age of physical media. I have memories of VHS. I have memories of going to Blockbuster. I have memories of getting my first DVD. I have memories of getting my first Blu-ray. I actually had an argument with one of my friends over Blu-ray and the quality and stuff. I have memories of getting my first 4K. But the 3 of us at this table have lived through all of it. And so I think that's going to make for some really interesting and fun little anecdotes and stories that we can share with each other.
Definitely.
As we go on. And then we're going to talk about some, this is why I think it might be an episode or a topic that we revisit. We're going to talk about upcoming releases by boutique labels or whatever that we're looking forward to, and which ones we recommend you should get, or maybe which ones you should stay clear of. Yeah. Because there are so many of these that, especially these boutique ones, that you think, oh, that'll be there for ages, and then it sells out. And then
it's gone,
Exactly, and then you go to look on eBay and it's like 70, 80 quid for 3 discs, and you're like, oh. Yeah. And if I can justify that. Yeah. So yeah, that's just sort of a brief.
Did you want to give us a couple of, so we said about like, the first kind of, we had this little in a preamble. Did you want to give us a couple of facts just beforehand, or just like a little bit of Like when when was the first VHS that came out?
Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of trivia, and I'm gonna totally guiltily copy from. There's a channel that I'm gonna plug on YouTube called Valverde Broadcasting, who talks about films and all the sorts of like 70s and 80s sci-fi and pulp shit that we love.
Sick.
And they had a segment on there where they did a trivia contest, but they
Ooh.
called it a Trivia Newton-John. And that links to our intro where we were just listening to
That's very
Let's Get
good.
Physical.
That's very
So
good,
we'll do some a Trivia Newton-John.
I'm liking the partridge sound you did just then as well.
The thing is, right, compared to like other comedians and shows, like the Alan Partridge character's not up there for me.
No.
But I quote it on
A lot,
I
yeah.
quote it a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, have a guess at when you think the first VHS was released.
I'm going to go for something like... I honestly have no idea.
No, I don't.
I'm going to go for something like 1991.
For the first VHS.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 81.
Okay, so I knew some of these. This is so I knew some of them already, but some of these answers are from now. When you Google stuff, it gives you like an AI aggregate where
Yes,
they'll,
it does,
they'll
yeah.
cite like 6 or 7 different sources, maybe Wikipedia, Yahoo Answers, things like that. So these answers are accurate as of April 2025. But the first widely available VHS went on the market. I think it was day and date in Japan and in the United States in September of 1976.
Wow.
Okay, yeah.
And when do you think? Obviously,
Was Beta... Wasn't there something that was bigger than a VHS?
Are you thinking of Betamax?
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on Betamax, unfortunately. I'm not an expert on any of these things. I'm not going to pretend like I am, but I couldn't answer that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But when do you think the last VHS was released? So if the first one came out, and I don't know what title it is, unfortunately. I think it's one of those ones that's hard to pin down, slightly easier with some of the later formats.
Yeah.
But when do you think the last widely available VHS was released?
2001.
I'm going to go 2005.
Okay. According to the little bit of research I did this afternoon, the last readily available VHS was released in 2016.
What?
Whoa.
Now, I don't know. Again, we had this sort of brief chat before we started recording, Dan. I don't know if that is going to be like a theatrical feature film or whether it's going to be like an instructional video or some form of like TV or maybe like a re-release of something. But the last, like in North America at least, available VHS that you could go into a store and buy. I don't know what the content on the tape was, but the last VHS was in 2016.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I thought I was being
That's
generous
good.
given 2005, to be honest.
Yeah, 2016. And then, as you say, VHSs have sort of in the last couple of years with like collectors and stuff.
Yeah.
They've had like a weird spike in popularity, haven't they?
Yeah, so Vice Press did a couple for Evil Dead.
Oh, nice.
Evil Dead Rise, maybe. I can't. They did like a 2 like collector's edition 1, collector's edition 2, with like they had like blood splatter on them and stuff like that. But they genuinely work. They're actual VHSs. And then I think I said before, Alien Romulus one, which they're bringing back again. I think there have been a couple more. I can't tell you off the top of my head though.
There was one for the Substance that was going around on
okay.
socials that had like a green.
Yeah, I think I've
VHS.
seen that. I've definitely seen that there is a market for, and I've seen these on TikTok and on Etsy, creators, some incredibly talented people making VHS, sort of retro style VHS covers and packaging for Blu-rays and 4Ks. So you can order like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a modern horror movie like The Conjuring, but it will come as like a
It'll
Blu-ray,
look like a retro,
but it will look as though it'll be in the clamshell packaging like an actual retro
that's pretty cool.
VHS,
That's really
and it's
cool.
got like weathering and distressing and stuff like that. But again, not to plug other people's channels, Red Letter Media did a really interesting video on this, and they auctioned off. I can't remember what it was. Was it Troll? Some sort of obscure.
Oh, the Swedish the Swedish. Oh no, that's
No,
Troll Hunter,
yeah,
isn't it?
no. There was some sort of obscure title on VHS. I think it was spurred on by something like, and we had this chat a few weeks ago when we weren't recording. There was a really ridiculous sale for something like Back to the Future or Rocky IV, one of like the beloved 80s films
Oh, I
on
remember you
VHS
saying this. Yeah.
for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And RLM, the guys on that channel, were talking about how laughable it was. So they did like this hour-long video on it. I'd recommend it. It's really, I don't know what the title is, but it's really good. And they talk about how the speculator market for this type of obscure niche VHS collector's thing is strange and fairly recent and bizarre. But we all have VHSs still. I have VHSs that I have kept from when I was a child, and
Yes.
I've gone out now as an adult and bought some of my favorite titles on VHSs. Have you guys got any VHSs that you still have? I think what we'll do is we'll try and work
we'll
through
through each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the formats chronologically.
Yeah. So I only have 2 left. So, and I have them in down here to show you. We'll do that after though.
Yeah.
Back then we sort of purged all of the videos we took. But I regret that now because I like you. I go out and buy what I can now.
So I'm more in the camp of, well, my dad is a massive music fan. His like music catalog, like CDs, mini disc, like in terms of what we're talking about now for film, he is for music. So he collects, and I know he doesn't throw stuff away. Like there were points where we were like, if he listens to this, he's either gonna wet himself or he's gonna actually, be like, what? But so I remember like clearing stuff out my room and putting it in bags ready to go to the tip, and he'd go through the bags to make sure I wasn't throwing anything away that I might regret. Like he's that type of holds on stuff. And I texted him last night. I was like, do you have any of the VHSs still? Especially the Star Wars box set in the gold cardboard box set. And he was like, we do, but they're somewhere up in the loft. So when I get him around to getting up there and getting them down, I'll maybe for part 2 of physical media, I'll bring him in so you can have a look. But we definitely do have VHSs, but up in the loft. Again, VHS was the first, I had VHSs before DVDs. Like I was at the age where DVDs didn't really exist before. And a lot of it was, I think we've had this conversation before, but not on here, so we'll probably have it now. Looking at films and things myself, like just looking at a VHS, one that pops up to mind is Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Francis Ford Coppola one, and just thinking, what on earth is that? And what really makes me sad now, which is is that I'm thinking about my experience with looking at films as a VHS first and thinking that is intrigued. Like it gets your imagination going. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't want to be in a position where my son can't experience what I experienced.
100%. We had this chat on our anniversaries episode, and we are planning when we're going to release this. I don't know, but we're going to talk about. We were going to have like a prolonged sort of chat about nostalgia and nostalgia baiting and things like that, and nostalgia in films and stuff. But one of the things I was talking to you about was exactly the same thing. So many fond memories of going into a Blockbuster or the Virgin Media store that was in our town centre, and you were transfixed by the cover art.
Yeah.
There was nothing else available to you at the time. Nobody had access to the internet in their pockets.
No.
So you couldn't Google it on the spot.
And you very rarely saw posters. The only time you really saw posters was either if you were in a Blockbuster or if you were at the cinema. It wasn't really like going on your phone and the latest poster popping up on Twitter or whatever like that.
Exactly.
So VHSs were probably the first form of a mass poster, really, of advertising a film that you don't really have a clue about. But yeah, so that VHS for me was the first ever bit of film, and just being fascinated by some of the covers of it.
And I remember a fond memory that I have for loads of films as a kid would be the process of you're out and about with your parents or maybe with your mate or whatever. You go into a shop, you see a film with some cover art that is like really striking, indelible imagery. One for me was Hellraiser.
Yeah.
Another one was The Fly, which is obviously now one of my favourite films. But having absolutely no cultural capital or context to frame it with, picking it up and only having like the blurb, which in some cases, especially when you're talking about horror and sci-fi and fantasy films, they kind of make it vague, and having to piece together in your mind an entire idea about what this film could be. And then unless you were fortunate enough to have a PC at home, which we had in my dad's old office, like the family PC, but I didn't really use it that much, unless you actually bought the film and watched it or it was on TV, you weren't going to get any other information about it.
Yeah.
You couldn't just search Instagram or YouTube on your phone and watch the trailer there and then in the store, or like text a mate or whatever, or ask Grok or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So many, and then that sort of built the anticipation, because obviously if you spent your money on it, you spent your hard-earned £10 on that film, you took it home and you put it in the player, it was either going to live up to these mad expectations that you concocted in your mind based on like 3 images and maybe a little strap line and a blurb, or it was going to be something completely different.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, that's not what I imagined this film
still,
to be at all.
But you still go about watching it. You might not have enjoyed it, but it's the fact of like there are so many films now where, like, if I'm scrolling through Netflix or Prime or anything like that, they don't like the actual like thumbnail for it is so unappealing.
Yeah,
it's just majority of the time it's just a screenshot from a moment in the film and then the title, and it just doesn't like. I feel like I'm more drawn towards somebody that's put a lot of effort into the artwork of the film on the front.
Yeah.
Where like I think it was like I can't even feel off the top of my head because there's so many that it's just streaming's kind of turn it bland. Whereas I like think back again. I know we said before, but like you said, it's your imagination runs wild on about 20 words and just the front cover.
I remember, this would have been like 2006, 2007. I was shopping with my mum, and I saw in Woolworths, and this was one of the first things on
Woolworths.
Well, it would have had to have been 2007, 2008 because it was a DVD. But it was one of the first DVDs I bought with my own money. I bought Beetlejuice.
Nice.
And I knew Michael Keaton because I liked Batman, obviously, and I knew Tim Burton. Those were names that I recognised. But everything else about it looked completely alien to me. And obviously the cover, I can't remember who did I don't think it's a Drew Struzan poster. I can't remember who did the artwork for the poster, but it's this bizarre image of him sat on top of the model house.
Yeah.
There's one of the sandworms going through the windows. Gina Davis is holding like her head in her hands or whatever. It's bizarre. I said to my mum, what's Beetlejuice? And she was like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. Do you want to buy it? And I was like, yes. I gave her my money. And I sat like, and I used to do the same thing with video games, and I'm sure this is a pretty universal experience for kids that grew up around the same time. During the entire car journey home, I was like glued to this DVD, like reading the back of the DVD cover, like, oh my god, what is this? And because it was a 15 and it looked kind of scary on the front, and there was like skulls and demons on the back, I had built up this idea that it was going to be a really scary, serious horror film. And then I put it in, and I was like, this is not what I was expecting at all. It's like this really camp, funny black comedy, but it wasn't at all what I'd built up in my head. Now, if you're a kid these days, obviously you got the new General Ortega one, but if you were in a shop and you're like, oh, what's Beetlejuice? You can just Google it. Yeah. And all of the allure and the mystique and everything is gone.
Yeah.
Instantly.
You just actually brought up a memory for me. So you said the first VHS I ever bought was in a Woolworths, and my dad had to buy it for me. So the first VHS I ever bought with my own money was Batman, the first Michael Keaton Batman. And I remember it was just black with the orange Batman logo.
It's the gold, isn't it? It's like got the shining. Oh, it's great.
So I remember being like, can I have it? And I don't know if my dad had seen it before, but he just saw it as it's a Batman film, and he saw it as a 15. So yeah, sure. So obviously I had to stand like a few aisles down, and then my dad went and bought it with my money, went and got it for me. But yeah, that was in a Woolworths. So that was the first VHS I bought my own money wise. Thank you for igniting that little memory.
This is I think in one of our previous episodes I'd said like, there's too much nostalgia in films, and we've spent the first 30 minutes of this episode just talking about how Woolworths
15.
Yeah. Do you remember VHS? Do you remember war?
From the war?
Do you remember Duran Duran? Do you remember Space Hoppers?
I do
remember Daily Boppers. Sorry, Charlie was gearing up to say something, and then I cut him off.
I have my first ever VHS that was bought for me.
No way.
Do you want to show us it? Because we're doing VHSs, do you want to show us it now?
I'm like a little bit older than you guys, so
like only a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't want anybody thinking that Charlie's
He's like
old. He's
60
not.
years older.
So
I'm closing my eyes.
Yeah,
the first film that was bought for me was in well, it's not a film really. Technically,
Fantasia.
it's not a film.
Oh,
The 50th birthday
wow.
classics,
Wow.
volume 2 of Tom and Jerry.
That's mad.
So it's Tom and Jerry's 85 years old this year. So
That's insane.
MGM, United
I was about to
Artists.
say, yeah. I mean, look at the hand drawing on that. That's cool.
We are, for people listening at home, we are looking at this really...
battered.
I was going to say well-loved.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, well
This
loved.
clamshell classic VHS with the sort of semi-frosted plastic casing.
Yeah, it's like
Massive-
matte in it.
yeah.
Yeah. I think what we'll do is, obviously, when we post this out, we'll put a post up with photos of
Yeah.
Everything that we're
physical-
talking about.
Yeah, so you can see it online as well.
The fun doesn't stop there.
Oh, go on. Number 2.
So I was quite young, but I still sort of remember the first VHS that I bought with pocket money,
Yep.
which I have as well,
Oh, go for it. Right, eyes are closed.
which is another VHS. It's 1995's Casper.
Whoa,
wow.
shit, yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I love about that as well is that it's got the kind of like the cast crew credits,
The billing
on,
block.
the
yeah.
billing block on the bottom, but at the
Yeah.
front. That's so cool. I remember watching this film a lot when I
Yeah.
was a kid.
There was a sequel that was like a direct-to-video sequel that I had.
Yes, yeah.
That was not good, but Casper, the first one, very good.
Like even along the bottom on the spine, you've got the kind of like the film negative kind of
Yeah, yeah.
style of the front. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I open it?
No, yeah, go.
A little bit of a.
Wow.
SMR.
Oh my god! Like even if you look on the inside, it's got the massive Universal.
I love that classic Universal. That
Yeah.
reminds me of Jaws every time I see it,
Yeah.
that ident.
I love the fact they put arrows in as well to say which side the VHS needs to go in.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the tape itself. Have you rewound, Charlie?
Yes.
Yeah, he has. He's ready. He's ready to go. You could pop this in right now and watch Casper the Friendly
You're
Ghost.
a good boy. And that one, yeah, both.
But yeah, you can see like the classics volume 1.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of research on this, and yeah, they all came out like early 1990,
Yeah.
and I was born in 89, so I would have been.
Oh,
one.
so
I would have
yeah.
been 1. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cool, man.
That is really cool. Yeah, we will post these on Instagram, which is what at Missing Scene Pod,
Yes.
and then
Every week I read it off a sheet of paper. I don't actually remember it off the top of my head.
I was thinking, and I don't know if this is doable. So we might edit this out if we can't get the technology to. I don't have the technology. If we can't get
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps. We might put a link to a Google Drive or Imgur or Flickr document in the description of the episode on Apple and Spotify.
Oh yes,
with
so then
photographs of all of
yeah.
these, so
Yeah.
you can listen, you can look at them, so you
As
know what
you're
we're
listening.
talking about.
Yeah.
And this isn't just going to be an episode of, as cool as that would be, isn't just
Yes.
going to be an episode of us like passing around
Yeah.
Yeah.
old DVDs and VHSs. So yeah, I think we've
That's VHS's kind of. Nicely
the
rounded
first VHS that I ever watched. Sorry, I haven't.
Oh no,
'cause
yeah. Sorry. Go for it. Yeah.
I jumped the gun and told my DVD story, but the first VHS that I ever watched was Home Alone 2.
Nice.
I can't remember the first VHS that was given to. Actually, I tell a lie.
It's all coming back to him.
Yeah. You're making me think of Johnny English now. It's all coming back to me. There's bound to be a hospital in Dingham. Is it Dingham? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Great. This is so unscripted and off the cuff of us, isn't it? It's, I was a huge, huge fan as a kid of the Railway series, the Thomas the Tank Engine books, and loads of the original I can't remember the lady's name now, the woman that created the TV show. She passed away this year, recently. Oh, I should know. But I had loads of them on VHS, and they were released, I think, in like 3-4 episode tapes. So I had like all of the ones that were narrated by Ringo Starr. I had pretty much all of them on VHS, and I watched them religiously, like feverishly. My mum had Hook on VHS, and that was one that I used to watch all the time, and that I still love today. I think is massively underrated.
Hook is wonderful.
Massively underrated. We have an idea for a segment of episodes that we could do where we look back on films that are really overhated, and we sort of talk about how they're way better than you remember. And I think Hook would be a strong contender for that.
Oh, massively, yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch my mum's copy of Hook, and then the first VHS that I consciously remember like finding and being like, oh my God, what is this? Was Home Alone 2. My parents had one of those things, it's quite an old-fashioned thing now, a futon with storage inside it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my dad had his own collection of the more sort of like, I don't want to say adult because that sounds like pornographic, but the more mature films upstairs in his wardrobe. And then the sort of family films were kept in our front room inside this futon. And I remember just one afternoon opening the futon being like, I'm going to put something on to watch. And there was a VHS of Home Alone 2. And I was like, what is this? My mum was like, how have you never seen Home Alone? And I remember watching that. And I hadn't seen the first one first.
Yeah.
And that's the first, like, I remember picking up and reading the back of it and be like, oh my God, and opening the case.
Putting it in,
Yeah, exactly. I did obviously watch Thomas the Tank Engine before I was like a baby.
Yeah. That's why I feel like, especially any type of physical media, physically putting a film on feels like I'm spending my time a lot better than just choosing something out of the plethora of content that's out there now. I'm physically putting in time to watch something. Oh man, I'm just thinking back to the days of putting in a quick VHS story where I was obsessed with Pitch Black. I think I told you this before.
Yes, you have.
Obsessed with Pitch Black. I had a little, I don't know how big the screen was, but you used to get those like square box TVs with a VHS player in it.
Yep.
And I watched it so much that it got stuck, and I pulled it out, and then the actual reel was stuck in, and I was gutted.
My first TV in my bedroom was one of those.
Yeah.
Same.
And then my parents upgraded it to, in my head as a kid, it was like the exact same model. It obviously wasn't, but it just had a DVD player instead of a VHS player.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a big, cumbersome, like silver, pearlescent, almost blue TV with like a screen that was probably about that big now. I was like, whoa, this is massive.
Move away from the telly, you're too close. Cool. So we jump onto DVDs, do you think? Yeah. So so we start again with do you know what the first DVD year was? Because recently it celebrated its first, or like there was like an anniversary. People were talking about the first DVD actually being released. That was quite recent, wasn't it?
So when do you think it was, Dan?
I want to say maybe 2001.
What about you, Charlie?
97.
Charlie was actually, you're both kind of close. The first DVD was released in November of 96.
Really?
And it was Twister.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah. That was 96. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that early. It shows you how bad I am. I did not think it was that early.
The first DVD, yeah. I mean, we have technically jumped a format.
What's the format?
We have glossed over LaserDisc, which if there are like any people listening, again, I always say this, thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world to us. But if you are like a proper aficionado of physical media, you probably were thinking, you haven't spoken about LaserDisc. Because it's like a big niche thing that physical media collectors love. And I know a couple of people that collect LaserDisc and they love it. Some of the artwork on those sleeves are amazing.
Especially when they're that big as well. You get like a full scale of it.
Yeah, and it was like the main competitor against VHS for the longest time. The first LaserDisc came out in December of 1978. And do you want to guess what the first title was, at least in North America, on LaserDisc? 1978.
No idea.
Couldn't tell you.
It was Jaws.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That would be like the holy grail for you, right? In terms of collecting a physical version of each Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a precarious format to collect because obviously you have to be worried about disc rot. As you were saying earlier, Dan, I don't want to use the phrase off camera because we're not recording anything. off recording, you were saying that some LaserDisc physical setups are really cumbersome and invasive, and they occupy like a large amount of cabinet space. The discs themselves are pretty big. They're like halfway between a DVD and a vinyl.
Yeah.
But I have seen some amazing. My friend that collects them, he often sends me because he follows a couple of Instagram pages dedicated to like rare LaserDisc finds, and he sends me like artwork. Like LaserDisc was massive in Japan, so nowadays if you go on eBay and search for a title in LaserDisc, you're very likely to come up with loads of Japanese releases for it. Because there are quite a few of my favourite films I've been tempted to try and find, even though I don't have a LaserDisc player and I have them on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. But yeah, when I've searched it out of curiosity, the ones that have come up have been the Japanese and the Japanese artwork for some of them are amazing.
Yeah.
They're so cool. But yeah, LaserDisc was a huge competitor for VHS.
I feel like, especially for LaserDisc though, not that it wasn't as popular, but I feel like it was less accessible to majority of people, would you say?
Yeah.
Because VHS was literally just that cassette, and the actual VHS player wasn't probably that big compared to a LaserDisc player. It is not. I feel like it'd be a lot more expensive as well.
Exactly, like the footprint of a VHS player, I'm imagining is going to be considerably smaller than like the average LaserDisc. I don't know any of these for certain, but I imagine that they'd probably be a lot cheaper as well, a lot easier to find. Like the average hardware store in America would probably have a VHS player. Again, I don't know for certain because I wasn't alive and I never bought either of those. I never bought a VHS player or a LaserDisc player.
I think I saw recently on the internet someone put a picture up of it was an American poster of or like in a magazine or a newspaper of the prices of like I think one was like new release of Ghostbusters on VHS and it was like $60.
Yeah. VHSs used to be extortionate. Like in the early days, I've seen similar ones like Bring Home Aliens on VHS for only $79.99. It's like fucking hell. That's crazy. And adjusted for inflation, that's probably what, like £200? Yeah. For one film.
It's great. And could you imagine what LaserDisc prices must have been?
Yeah. But yeah, LaserDisc was pretty popular for like
for its
in Japan and for like diehard film collectors. But yeah, I think VHS probably in the same way that there was a bit of a war in the late 2000s. Was it between Blu-ray and HD DVDs? Exactly. Which
blue versus red. Always, yeah,
exactly. So should we move on to DVD then?
Yes.
Yeah.
So first DVD, I actually can't remember the first DVD I owned. I think it was because this was the time where I feel like DVD made film at home a bit more accessible for me. I remember my dad coming home with the first DVD player, and we were like psyched. Like me and my sister were like, "This is mad" kind of thing because we were like, because it was the next big thing, you know what I mean? But I can't genuinely remember what my first DVD was. But it was the thing that I ended up having the most of out of DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4K. I don't own really my DVDs anymore. They kind of got similar to you. They kind of got purged. But in terms of collection, the peak collection I had, DVD is still the most I ever had. I think it was, especially price-wise, because I remember when Blu-rays first came out, they were about £20-25, but Blu-rays were, DVDs always kind of stayed the same price, or after they've been out for a few years, you can get them for like £2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can't actually remember my first DVD.
When my mum ordered a DVD player, you got to choose 6 DVDs to come with it.
That's so sick.
And
they should bring that for 4K. Bring that back.
Yeah, bring it back.
I'd buy a new 4K player every
So
just gift it to people.
Off the top of my head, most of the clamshells that I have was that offer. So it was like True Romance, Sixth Sense, Full Metal Jacket. I think and a few more.
So clamshell DVD is the cardboard case, which was then shut with a plastic.
Yeah, like a
fastener, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was
mad.
my first little collection, I guess.
My DVD copy of Full Metal Jacket is the exact same cardboard packaging. Don't know why they changed it.
I really like the cardboard packaging
of
some of the films. I can't remember which one. I remember having a couple. I think Deep Blue Sea might have been one of them. Might have been a cardboard one. There was a couple of others, but I couldn't remember off the top of my head. No.
So I already told you the story of the first DVD I bought, and it was Beetlejuice in Woolworths.
Yes,
I say I bought it. Like Charlie and like you, I gave my mum the money and stood behind her.
It's not for me.
In my head, thinking that obviously the poor 17-year-old that was probably Man in the Tills gave a shit what movie I was watching at home. They're probably like, I don't care. I just want to finish my shift and go skateboarding or whatever it was, listen to MCR, whatever teenagers were doing in 2007. You guys could probably tell me.
I can't skate for the life of me. I feel like I should be a person that looks like I could skate, but I can't.
But yeah, DVDs was at least for me when I remember, like I was getting titles on DVD all the time. Whether I was getting gifted them from family or from friends, getting some for birthday or Christmas, or going out and buying some with my pocket money. And again, because this was like the 2000s and digital streaming wasn't really a thing, DVD again was sort of the only way, unless the film you wanted to watch was being broadcast soon on TV, which again, not everybody had Sky, Virgin Media. Sky is like the UK's version of cable.
Yeah.
If you're listening internationally, which I doubt people are, but
No. We've got a listener in Norway.
Yeah, that's true. We have.
And Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, we have listeners.
Yeah.
We do have listeners in Canada, actually. So yeah, Sky. Yeah. Anyway, if you didn't have those, there was no way to, unless you had a TV mag.
Yes,
which I remember buying with my mum, especially in the run up to like Christmas or whatever.
Radio Times and all that
exactly.
stuff.
You'd sit down, look through the TV guide, you circle. Oh shit, mate!
This time,
yeah, that's amazing. Last Crusaders on Sunday. circle it on the TV mag or whatever.
Yeah, man.
But unless you had one of those sort of video formats, you couldn't look into the sort of future, so to speak, to see what was coming out on the TV, what films were being broadcast, what was on. So you just had to hope that a film you really wanted to watch was coming on. Let's just say you woke up one morning and you're like, oh, really in the mood to watch Beneath the Planet of the Apes or whatever. Unless you've got it on DVD or VHS, like there's no way you couldn't just whack it on Prime or say we'll rent it or whatever on Apple. So yeah, I had loads and loads of DVDs because again, if it was a film that I was even like had a passing interest in, because DVD was relatively cheap, I'd ask my parents to get it for me. I'd save up and buy it. So I had loads.
I think it's the same with me. Is that I ended up. So there was a stage as well where, especially for DVD, I went through like a horror phase of looking at a lot, watching indie horror, a lot of indie horror, and how like not so much cheapness, but the affordability of DVD allowed me to watch a load of films that I probably would never have considered, especially if I'm watching now. One that comes to my mind is this American horror film called Splinter, where it's about this. It's this weird. It's basically like I think it's some kind of like weird like little needle thing that when it stings or like when it gets lodged in someone, it takes control of their body.
Okay.
And it's basically all set in a gas station, and it's I can't remember. There's a guy in it that you would recognise. I think it's like one of his first films. But films like that are ones that DVD allowed me to afford to watch it at that point. A film that I probably never would have really. But I got some mad DVD special editions. One of them's very delicate. Do you want me to pull it out?
Yeah.
That sounded.
Pause.
When I mean pull it out, I'm talking about the DVD, not...
Yeah, man.
Not coitus.
Not coitus. Right, so actually, I'll show you this one first. This is a film that I say I'm not obsessed with, but this is like one of my favourite films of all time. It's kind of getting a bit of a resurgence in popularity as well, becoming a bit of a cult film. So this is my copy of Event Horizon with the front of the spaceship called the Event Horizon. And it opens up. And then you've got the blood-soaked wall in the back as well.
I'm unbelievably jealous.
Hey, you're just showing off, mate.
I remember asking this for Christmas. I can't remember what year it was, but this came from Santa Claus, aka Mum and Dad. Yeah, and then it's got a nice little booklet in it. It opens up. It's got some kind of horror imagery in it. But yeah, so that was. I remember because I watched Event Horizon. My dad allowed me to watch Event Horizon with him on VHS when they originally had it. I remember sitting on his lap petrified, and then when the film finished, I was sat on his lap for so long that I got pins and needles so bad that I couldn't stand up straight. I had to go, because I was just sat on his lap for the whole film. But yeah, that's one of my. In The Purge, I was like to Ashley, I was like, I'm never getting rid of that.
My disgruntled sigh a second ago is out of nothing, but I'm going to be completely honest. Seething jealousy.
Yeah.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This was during the lockdown. I think it was it would have been 2021 because the anniversary was in 2022. I pre-ordered. They did a 50th anniversary release of The Godfather.
Yeah.
For when Coppola revealed his latest transfer, which is now on 4K, and I got this absolutely phenomenal hardback book with loads of interviews with the still living cast and crew, loads of unseen photographs. Amazing. It came with artwork, numbered artwork. I think it was 1 of 1,000 or whatever. I have them framed on my wall. Lovely collector's piece. Cost a very large amount of money. I would fucking burn that to have this. And I'm not trying to talk down on it, but this is a fucking DVD. Yeah. I'm talking about a fucking 4K that I bought. This is sick. Yeah. Obviously, you'll be able to see in the Instagram post but it's massive. It's
just solid as well, isn't it?
It's thicker. It's this really large 3D case with the Event Horizon ship name.
It's the front of the ship
raised above the surface. It's weathered. It's textured. It looks like a Gundam sort of figure, almost like a Warhammer figure.
I must say it is extremely hard to shelve.
The paint ops are amazing. This is phenomenal, and it flips open, and the interior of the case is designed. I don't want to break it.
No, wait, it does. Just take it from the bottom. That's it.
The interior has got all sorts of gnarly viscera and gore on the ceiling. This is a work of art.
It's banging, isn't it?
I'm gushing over this because I'm also a huge Event Horizon fan, and I'm going to say now, Timothy Chalamet can piss off. We're gonna fast track the Event Horizon episode.
Hell yeah!
Because I need to talk to you about that movie, man. I'm coming, baby bear. Do you know what? Right, that film, as a kid, I thought that you could survive in space for
yeah.
They say in the movie that he's only out there for a second or two, but obviously because it's in slow mo, he's floating for ages, and the blood that's coming out of his eyes.
Horrid, yeah. He's just going side to side. He's not even outside, and he's already starting to decompress, isn't it? It's
great heel turn from Sam Neill at the end of that film when he just turns evil, just out of nowhere. It's so stupid, but it's so great. Good. And he's going, "Come on, Captain, we're going home." He's, "I'm already home."
And he just disappears.
Steps back into the darkness. Oh, it's great.
Well, if you think that's cool, this is my. I've said to Logan, this is an heirloom. I'm leaving this to you.
Do you know who you remind me of right now?
Go on.
You know in Iron Man 2 where Sam Rockwell is unveiling the this is the Cubans, baby. This is the creme de la creme. Right. If it was any smarter, it'd write a book and read it to you. I call it The Ex-Wife. This is you bringing out your physical media collection.
I'm terrified to see what one up is that.
Isn't this great, Charlie?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a gift. That was a gift. This next one, I bought myself, and I bought it when it was Virgin Megastore in our town. It was my own money. I can't remember how much I paid for it. I don't think it wasn't extortionate, but I remember kept going back and forth to it week in, week out, thinking, do I buy it? And I'm glad I did. This is delicate. It does open, but it's a little bit delicate.
My eyes are closed.
Are you ready, Ollie?
I am. No way.
The Book of the Dead, Evil Dead version, or Evil Dead's Book of the Dead. Now this is a bit delicate because basically it's basically the book, but it's all soft.
Yeah,
Kind of feels fleshy, but the spine of it, this is kind of a defect in all of them. The spine goes dry. But you take that out, and then it is just the artwork throughout the book.
I remember seeing this copy in Virgin Megastores.
Yeah.
In our town.
And then it comes with another book on the inside, and then the film at the back, and then on the back is its ear. So this is what I'm leaving to someone in the family.
So good.
I hope you haven't shown this to Logan because this is terrifying.
I showed him it and he went to grab it. I was like, you can't touch it. Yeah, you're gonna rip it.
I kind of hate the Harry Potter films because there is a sequence in the third one where he gets given, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Book of Monsters or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's this book that like chases him around the room with teeth, and it kind of looks a bit like the Book of the Dead. And it's really annoyed me because whenever I see the Book of the Dead prop, like in horror documentaries or whatever, I immediately think, oh, it looks like that one from Harry Potter. This is amazing. This is, again, I'll try my best to do a brief description. It is a sort of leather-bound A5 recreation of the Book of the Dead prop from the first two films. But the paint apps and the weathering is absolutely insane. The detailing is amazing. The face is literally coming out of the front of the book. And then as you open it up, it's got these really weathered and distressed, like aged pages. I'm being careful not to damage the spine.
But they're all kind of based off the drawings from like what you see in the film. Obviously, it's not. I don't think it's exact, but it says close to. But
2002.
But you can, in fact, get, and I've seen a few on eBay, and the temptation has been unreal, but it's a little bit pricey. Is you can get the Evil Dead 2 Book of the Dead, which is the grey version.
Oh yeah, it does change. I do apologise. Sam Raimi fans are religious, so if they're any listening and they heard me say from the first two films, I apologise. I made a mistake. It does change, doesn't it?
So you at one point you could get both of them in a double pack. Wow. But you can get the second one in a single pack, which I'm very tempted to get, but I haven't yet.
Do you know how much either of those are on eBay now?
To be honest, I'm not even kidding. The Event Horizon isn't. I think I've seen them go for maybe 25, 30 quid.
Okay.
The Book of the Dead one, I think I've seen north of 70.
Yeah,
so they're not terrible.
Yeah.
It's to say the second one is about, I think the cheapest for the second one I've seen is about £60. But the last thing I'm going to show you, just quickly, this isn't a physical, this isn't a film or a DVD, but it's something from a film.
Sick.
Or it comes from the film. So basically, Ashley bought me this on the first ever birthday present from her, and she still says to this day she doesn't remember how she found it, but she just found it. So my favorite film of all time is Dead Man's Shoes. She bought me this graphic novel version of it, which you can't get anymore. And the cheapest I found it on eBay was £180.
Holy shit.
So it is literally a graphic novel telling of Dead Man's Shoes film. And yeah, you can't, it's not in print anymore. You can't get it. So
That's brilliant.
I thought I'd just show you that as a kind of, it's like physical, it's still got the film kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is one of the first things she ever bought me. Yeah, honestly, Paddy Considine is in a band called Riding the Low, and then they've played like in a town near us a few times, and I've been meaning to get a ticket. I haven't been able to go, but every time I've been like, if I ever see him or if I ever get to go, I'm taking that is going with me, and because that's something that's staying with me as well.
That is crazy. I can't wait for the second side release of this. By the way.
So a good thing about, like we're saying about future releases, Second Sight are doing. Second Sight's a boutique label within the United Kingdom, and they do really good job at packaging and restoring films and stuff like that, and doing the 4K upscales and stuff like that. They're really good. They are doing a special edition of it releasing this year, is it?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
So that's a day one purchase. That one is definitely. But yeah, so that's because I only own that on DVD. I don't own it on Blu-ray. So, well, no, I don't own DVD. I think it might have gone. I don't know where it is.
You well and truly put my now mediocre DVD collection to shame with literally two DVDs there. And yeah, we will talk. I think that's how we're going to wrap up. We're going to talk about boutique labels in more detail. Yeah. But one of the things that I wanted to focus on now on DVDs, and the Event Horizon thing jogged my memory. I apologise for that little
you had to lean in to grab it.
Interruption. I was just leaning to pick it up. DVDs saw really for the first time, like around the world, like a huge rise in special features and like behind the scenes stuff and making of documentaries being sort of like brought into the home and being made readily available. Because obviously people have always been fascinated with the process of filmmaking, and particularly wanting to know more about their favourite films and their favourite filmmakers, and going to like special conventions and things like that, and screenings or Q&As. But the idea that you could like have these really in-depth documentaries, B-roll sort of featurettes and things at home to watch at your leisure, or like audio commentaries, things like that, was like a massive deal. Now, I don't know, again, because I'm slightly younger than you guys, and you guys might not know because you're both still very young. I don't know whether or not that was a huge thing on VHS. I can't imagine it would be, because you'd need to have a second VHS put in the case, wouldn't you?
I do remember, I think there were a couple of VHSs where they had something at the end of the credits. They might have like a 10-minute featurette.
Okay, cool.
Dependent on obviously how long the film is. I remember some did have like a featurette right at the end. But yeah, nothing to the extent that you got on DVD. No. I think even DVD has more now than Blu-rays do.
This is the point I was going to make. It's become like a big sort of talking point if you're at all interested in physical media. You've probably looked at the spaces online, like the Reddit forums. There's a Twitter space that I'm a part of for physical media collectors, Facebook groups and stuff. And one of the things that always seems to come up is, as amazing as some of the restoration processes are by like boutique labels and stuff, and as amazing as like Blu-ray and 4K qualities can be, and how good these transfers can look, they're seriously lacking in special features for the most part. Unless you are buying from these boutique labels, which we're going to talk about later, most Blu-rays and 4Ks now, the most they'll have in terms of special features will maybe be like a trailer pack.
Or a blooper reel.
Or a blooper reel. You'll be lucky if you get a commentary. And I'm looking at this now, and the special features on here, you've got a 5-part documentary, deleted scenes, extended scenes, commentary with Paul W.S. Anderson. I bet that's great to listen to. A concept art montage. That's loads of really interesting things. And one of my fondest memories of some of my favourite films as a kid, getting them on DVD, was watching these Disc 2 special features. Films like that came out when I was a child, Dead Man's Chest, Revenge of the Sith, Batman Begins. I remember getting the 2-disc edition on DVD.
And it was always a 2-disc for me.
And as soon as I'd finished watching the film, I'd put in the second disc and watch these documentaries. And it was informative. I loved it. I learned so much about the process of filmmaking, as much as you can understand as like an 8-year-old or whatever. But I thought it was great, and you get to see all these people talking about the creative process and like the costume designers, production designers. I learned some of my first things about what like editing was and photography. I learned things like a director of photography. I learned what that was through watching the Revenge of the Sith special features disc. I remember going to spend a weekend at my grandparents' house and taking my Revenge of the Sith DVD with me, and my nan coming into the room and going, "What are you watching?" And I was like, I'm watching the special features disc. And it was like John Knoll and the guys at ILM talking to George Lucas about like some animation on a screen. And it's just like a bunch of old white dudes in a room talking. But I found it really interesting. And you pick up the average Blu-ray if you go into a HMV or whatever, and they don't have that many special features. Do you guys have any fond memories of any particular titles that come to mind when I say special features to you?
I think I said this to you before. I had the Terminator 1 and 2 double pack special edition. Watching that round my nan's whilst my nan, my nana, and my mum were all having their hair cut at home, and then I'd just be in the living room watching Terminator 1, then special features, then Terminator 2, then special features. Like, that's probably the most special feature wise that I remember watching the most. Definitely. Yeah.
The earliest special features disc that I remember watching was the Muppet Show.
Oh.
So like on season 1 of the Muppets, and then they would show like, Henson Company, like, this is Frank Oz, and Frank Oz plays this and this and this character, and that was
That's a cool one to watch, actually, because you don't really think about like the puppeteering and stuff like that, and actually seeing it. Like Jim Henson done like Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, and that's massively obviously into like the puppeteering and all stuff like that. So I bet I was actually quite interested, especially seeing that as a kid for the first time, thinking to myself, hang on a minute.
Yeah, I recently watched the Jim Henson documentary on Disney Plus, and it brought back those sort of, and I have season 1 and 2 of the Muppets still on DVD. So I went back after watching the Jim Henson documentary and watched the special features again recently.
I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that did that. I remember particularly there was some fantastic special features on Dead Man's Chest and At Well's End, the Pirates of the Caribbean films, and I think on one of them there is a documentary about the final action set piece that is like nearly feature length.
Yeah.
So it's like a documentary about making the film that was included in the DVD release, and that's just one of the special features. Again, deleted scenes. I used to love that as a kid, finding out that a movie had deleted scenes and putting on the DVD and going, I can't wait to see, like, because you were just getting more of what you enjoyed about them, and seeing and being able to think, even as like a child, I can see maybe why they didn't put that in, or why didn't they keep this in? This was amazing. This is great.
Like I remember, like a lot of the DVDs as well. The sticker on the front would be over 2 hours of bonus material. It was a massive push to get people to buy it. Like, you're not just getting a film, but you're also getting a shit ton more with it. One that stuck out for me was Independence Day. I remember Independence Day having tons of features on it. What was you going to say, Charles?
I was going to say, you just unlocked a memory. Like the first Independence Day, I remember, we were talking about like covers that you remember vividly. Independence Day had a holographic cover.
Yes.
One would be like, and then the second
it
image
would be the exploding White House.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What I was going to say was, talking about special features and DVDs, I've got one that is quite excessive.
I was going to say, should we see... We haven't seen Charlie's DVD set yet.
Yeah, no, I feel sorry. I feel bad because
No.
They're not as good as the Event Horizon, but here is my copy of Memento.
Wow, I've never seen that before.
Neither have I.
Wow. Oh my God.
3 discs.
I've never seen a version of a DVD like that though. So it's like a weird digipack. It's like a book, but the DVD's like booked in plastic.
Yeah, and also like it doesn't have anything on the back, I don't think.
It just has like the kind of...
It just has images.
Yeah, images from that's insane.
It
may have had like a J card that was over the top of it.
Yeah.
That's mad. I've never seen a DVD in that format before.
Yeah. 101 Films have done quite a good release of Memento on Blu-ray.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure. It's like a 2K scan. I don't think it's been released on 4K.
No, just Blu-ray. Yeah, but that I've never seen anything like that before. Give us a description.
Yeah, so you did a. I don't think I could. It is.
Thank you.
Dan summed it up brilliantly. It's like an all-white cardboard wraparound around like a digipack. But as you flip through it, it goes like a book. So you've got 3 segments. Each one's made of plastic, and then you've got 3 discs.
That's mad. 3 discs for a DVD is actually quite mad as well.
Yeah.
Carrie-Anne Moss and Guy Pearce and Joe on the last with his mustache on the last disc. But disc 3 special features, disc 2 special features. Christ, I'd love to actually put that in and see what their special features are. That's
especially 2 discs worth.
Yeah, that's a really cool.
That's really cool.
Really cool release. I tell you what had some really good special features on it. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man films.
Yes.
All of those on DVD.
Yeah,
they
2 discs.
All 2 discs.
Yeah.
Now, linking a little bit back to the LaserDisc ramble I went on earlier, I'd say probably my 3 favorite DVDs that I own. I didn't bring them with me because they're at my house, and when I take the pictures, I stupidly thought I won't need to bring them, and now I feel really. You guys are showing off these really cool things, but still, these aren't as cool. I have the 3 2-disc edition DVDs of the Star Wars original trilogy. And they are significant because they were the last, I believe, officially released by Fox or Lucasfilm, whoever held the license at the time. It was Fox, wasn't it? The last officially available copies of the theatrical cuts.
Yeah,
of each
the
film.
original.
Yeah. They're now online known as the despecialized editions. And like Star Wars on home media is a whole other discussion. You could have like a 2-3 hour, and people have on YouTube discussions about it and the history of Star Wars being released. But I'm 90% sure that the versions on those DVDs are the transfers from the LaserDiscs, which were released in 93, I think, or 94. And they build it in the States as like the last time you'll be able to see Star Wars in their original unedited editions, whatever. And then they just ported that transfer over onto DVD. I watched them during lockdown on my 4K TV, and they obviously looked terrible because it's like DVD, a LaserDisc transfer on DVD upscaled to a 4K TV. It was awful quality, but it's a really cool artifact that I'm never going to part with. And as of right now, it doesn't seem likely that Disney will ever release the original theatrical. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I'm 90% sure George Lucas owns the rights to Star Wars, and as in like the original copy, the theatrical cut, and then Disney owns the theatrical cuts of Empire and Jedi. Yeah. And that's what's stopping them from doing, because if you look at the 4K of Star Wars, as in like A New Hope, it's amazing. It's one of the best transfers I personally have seen. I don't have that many titles on 4K, but it's amazing. There's a huge drop off in quality between that transfer and the ones for for Empire and Jedi, because I think that transfer was handled by Fox and Lucas, whereas Disney did the and Disney are notoriously bad for nerfing their home media releases of things. Like the 4K transfers of the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Gore Verbinski films are terrible. It's their beautiful 2-disc, and they've got like a gold trim that goes around all the top of them. Oh yes, yeah. And they're the ones I'm talking about. Yeah. It's like a remix of some of Drew Struzan's artwork on the cover, and they're really cool. And the first disc has just the special editions. I forgot what they were called then. The versions that you. I mean, they've been. George Lucas has altered and tinkered with the cuts of Star Wars so many times. There's so many different versions. Whatever version was the up-to-date version in like 2006 is on disc 1. Then disc 2 has loads of behind-the-scenes featurettes and documentaries, commentaries and stuff. And then it has the original theatrical cuts, which are really cool. And we might watch them together one day. I think that'd be really fun to watch the original definitely visual effects before George went in and cut them all up. But that's probably my favourite DVD artifact that I have. Nowhere near as cool as this amazing. Well, they're more kind of extravagant packaging. Yeah. What else have you got, Charles?
If you guys worked with me at the cinema, and you might remember this story. Do you remember my version of Space Jam that I bought? Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I bought Space Jam online, Italian one, and it was Italian. I remember the first like 18 rated film that I bought from the guy at the market, and I have that with me. Wow. Oh, nice. I take it, was you 18 at the time? No, but the case of this might give you a little insight as to why I did buy it. Okay. It's a bit strange. Okay. But all will be revealed when you read the back. Okay. That's my version of Pulp Fiction. Wow. Right? A steel book. Look at the age rating. That's not from here. that's not from the UK. No, it's not. Oh, he's done it again. I can't read it. What is that? Is that Netherlands and French? Yeah. Netherlands and French. I mean, still. The discs are in English. I was going to say, are the discs in English? The discs are in English, yeah. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, that was the first film I bought
That's mental.
That is a really cool case.
That is a really
the
cool
artwork
case.
is really cool.
That's got to be one of the earliest steelbooks, right?
Possibly.
Well, yeah, this is something that I was planning. I've got it written down in my notes here for us to talk about. The rise of steelbooks.
Yeah.
Because that was a thing. I remember seeing the odd DVD steelbook.
Mm-hmm.
There was one for the Mummy trilogy that was really cool, and it was like designed to look like a crate or something, but it was made out of metal. The Brendan Fraser films. But then steelbooks were big on Blu-ray, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think
I think they're their biggest now.
Yeah.
But I remember there being steelbooks for Blu-rays, but they weren't that popular.
Well, I don't know, because it's what I'm going to come on to say, because I think steelbooks have sort of been usurped or dethroned by boutique labels.
Oh yeah.
Because I think this is a nice point for us to jump onto Blu-rays now.
Just quickly,
Yeah.
do you have any other like random DVDs?
Sorry,
You know,
sorry, I'm
we've
jumping the gun a bit here.
Just whilst we got this opportunity. Yes. I'm loving the rustling.
For my 15th birthday, and it's been in my top 5 on Letterboxd forever. My mum bought me a copy of My Cousin Vinny, which I still have.
Nice.
I wish it had a Criterion release. There was rumours of one. I hope it gets one soon, because you can watch it on Disney Plus, but I need a better version.
Who wants to do that? What's that on the front? Is that a bonus features?
No, it's a sticker that says winner of the Best Supporting Actress, Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei. Anything else, Charles?
No.
Cool. Right. That's mad. See, I do feel like there are certain DVDs, again, like I like we've kept that, even though this is just literally a standard DVD case, it holds a memory and a place for you.
I only have a handful of DVDs still left in their cases because I've moved them onto folders. But that one needed to stay whole, I guess.
See, I did that for CDs. A universal memory of growing up in the UK with DVDs. Do you remember it was usually like your dad's dodgy mate or somebody would come to you and say, yeah, mate, I can get you this movie that's just come out in the cinema like a week ago, and it would be obviously pirated with like some crappy scrawly handwriting on top. So many films I remember as a kid watching at home were just pirated. So my copy of Shark's Tale was pirated. My copy of Kung Fu Panda was pirated.
Wow.
That's sort of like and they're always dirt cheap, and it was like a rip of some guy on a camcorder in a cinema screen or whatever, so it's always the most horrendous quality. But that's not something that's again something that with streaming becoming a big thing, you don't really get anymore.
No.
I mean, obviously you still can buy pirate videos and discs if you want to,
but it's not as prevalent or
necessary when you can stream things illegally. Do you guys have memories of watching anything on a pirate disc or getting given a pirate disc?
Yes. Yes.
Go on.
I bought the only pirated film that I have ever bought was Alien versus Predator.
Wow, okay.
And it was, I want to say, it hadn't been released in the UK when I bought it. Someone had gone to America and recorded it on a fucking camcorder or something.
Yeah.
And bought it back, and it's the worst copy of anything you've ever seen. Like it was like filmed on someone's like shoulder, so you can see their ear on the left. I'll have to try and find it. I still have it because it's just really funny. So you can see like someone's ear through the whole thing. And I've worked a couple of places where I've picked up a few after that.
Yeah. I think the only one I've ever really watched that was pirated, and also they put a lot of effort into it because they even like printed off the actual DVD case and stuff like that, was a Human Centipede, the first one,
the first sequence.
Yeah, because I can't remember how
Charlie still hasn't seen.
Oh, I haven't. No.
Yeah, it was and to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, it was a really good. It was actually quite a decent copy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have felt out of place, especially because this is a bit of a it's kind of related. Last year, me and the wife were doing the Hunger Games quadrilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix had she owns it, but like we were like, I can't bother to get it down from off, so Netflix had it. 1, 2, 3. didn't have the fourth one on there for some reason. Okay, nowhere else had it. It wasn't on Prime. Like, you could rent it, but we were like, well, so I ended up going upstairs, watched the DVD version of the 4 Hunger Games, and it was like watching a pirated DVD.
Yeah.
After going from a high quality HD version of it and then watching the DVD, you can see just how much technology has come along.
Which is crazy, because you would have suffered so much compression on the stream. Because this is the thing, right? I'm not trying to sound like a snob. As much as I love HD streaming, it's convenient. You cannot beat discs.
No.
There is if anybody comes to you and says to you that a 4K on like streamed on Disney Plus or whatever is as good as a disc, they're lying. It's not. Yeah. It's genuinely mathematically impossible. If you think of how quickly the information can be broadcast,
and it's got to be streamed as well.
Exactly.
So if you don't have the fastest internet as well.
Exactly. They have to cut corners somewhere. They have to, and so the compression happens, and you do lose information. It's an inevitability. So it's crazy that you're saying you watched a DVD.
So what
was still worse than a.
What I noticed the most about it was the kind of the blacks in it, the shadows and the really dark bits. You know, like when you look at shadows or like it's nighttime and it's like pixelated black, and you can see like the shade, like lines of shade, like the shade where it was getting light. You could physically see lines.
Yep.
That was the quality that I was like, and it was bugging me.
Yep.
I'm watching. I'm going like, I couldn't believe it, because I've watched. I could think back to watching DVDs and thinking they looked incredible. Matrix on DVD looked incredible, but I don't ever remember seeing that. And I think it's just where we've got such higher quality now. You don't actually realise until you watch a DVD just how big a quality jump we've actually got.
That's what I was saying about my Star Wars, the theatrical cuts. Watching them on DVD, it was eye opening. I just want to say, obviously, I massively fumbled that explanation there. I'm not in any way an expert on 4K technology.
But what you said is true. It is true. Yeah, they like you say.
I apologise if I got it wrong in any way. But
no, I don't think you have. There is going to, like you say, the compression is going to happen because you've got to process information wirelessly as quick as possible.
I tell you, one of the things that is always funny, and there are channels on YouTube that I followed that have said the same thing. One of the downsides of technology getting better and video quality improving is when you go back and you watch your favourite films from the 70s, from the 80s, or whatever, that are visual effects heavy, you can see the seams a lot more. In HD, you can see the wires. You can see where the colour replacement hasn't worked really that well. I remember watching not Revenge of the Sith, The Empire Strikes Back on 4K for the first time, and you can see, after years of watching it on DVD and stuff, you can see the seams in Yoda's ears where they've molded, where they've like pulled the rubber out of the mold. When you watch RoboCop on 4K, you can see like the spandex undersuit in his arm. When he like lifts his arm up when he's fighting Ed 209, you can see like bits of the and you can see bits of the rubber on the back of his neck. In like Aliens, for example, when it like Newt is in the water and one of the drones comes up behind her, you can see the wire lifting its its tail up, and then the biggest offender. And I would never notice this watching on DVD. Watched it on Blu-ray, so not even 4K, because apparently the Blu-ray, the 4K story is not that good. But the Blu-ray of Aliens, you can see one of the puppet operators behind the Queen at the end.
Really?
And again, when you're watching it on DVD, you don't notice these things because it's not the best quality. But when you watch some of these things on
everything's magnified. And
everything's brought into focus. Yeah, 100%. But do you guys have? I think this is the perfect time for us to talk about it, and we will talk about Blockbuster longer, because I think we all want to do like a Blockbuster themed episode. Yeah. But there was a Blockbuster video. I'm very fortunate, and you guys might be able to piece where this is. I'm not about to dox myself, but there was a Blockbuster video, like a 10-minute walk away from my house, by a large shop that is now a Morrison's.
I think you are right. I didn't live in that area when I was a kid. Mine was, where I lived was, there was one. I never really ventured to your side where you live now. Yeah. So I wouldn't be able to tell you, to be honest. But there was like 5. Yeah. Where we lived.
There was 5 in our town, and our town is pretty small, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, there was a Blockbuster video, genuinely a 10-minute walk from my house, like 3 minutes by car. So I would go in there on like a weekly basis.
Yeah.
a weekly basis. A bit of a ritual that when I was old enough that my mum got into was my mum and I would go. So my mum would do her weekly shop. She'd take my baby sister in the trolley and she'd say to me, "I'll go look in Blockbuster." And I would spend like 45 mintes to an hour as like an 8-9-year-old just walking around the store, just looking, picking things up, going, "I've never seen that. Oh wow, this is really cool. Oh my god, End of Days. That's got Arnie on it. I like Arnie. What's that?" Pick it up off the shelf. And so many of my fond memories. Then my mum would come collect me and I'd go, "Oh, can we rent this?" And she'd say, "Oh, go on then."
Yeah.
And then we'd take it home for the weekend or whatever. So many fond memories. And then obviously when Blockbuster started to be phased out, in the middle of that store, there was always like a huge bargain dump area where DVDs were like £1. And I would always go in there and pick some up. But loads of films I love now, for the first time I saw them, were from renting them from that Blockbuster.
I think so. I didn't really do a lot of renting. I did more if a film ever got rented, it was like we did it like it was more me and friends would go and do it. But as a family, we didn't really rent. But one of the things I always remember from Blockbuster in terms of looking at films is I just remember I Spit on Your Grave stood out to me. Well, I haven't seen it, the original one, but I just remember seeing that, and then the most controversial film of all time and stuff like that. I remember vividly seeing that for the first time in a Blockbuster. And also I think there was at one point where certain films that were that type of age, they would put like a white cover over the top.
Yes, yeah.
And I was always, and obviously I was being in there, I wasn't at the top. They were always at the top as well. So I was always like, what is under there? What is, that's always what intrigued me, was what was behind there.
I had an independent when I lived in the town we live in. There was an independent VHS rental place, and it was like a really small shop, and you could hardly move in there. And but like it was like floor to ceiling of VHSs, and the guy had like a ladder that he would have to get on to get from the top. But we'd go to there was 2 other ones that we used, and there was one. There was like a competitor to Blockbuster called Choices, as well.
I remember Choices.
Yeah. So it was huge, like where it is in our town. It was like an Aladdin's cave of rental. There was also Silver Screen. That was in the central Milton Keynes, but they started with rentals, and then you could buy it.
At one point,
I love how Charlie said like 30 seconds ago, in this town that we live, and then just said Milton Keynes.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag now. Yeah.
But I remember at one point we had Zavvi, Silver Screen, and HMV all in one place, and now there's literally just HMV.
The Virgin Media Store I have a funny story for, but I remember when one of my first memories of being terrified, and again, you tell this to like kids today and they'd probably laugh at you, but I sound like a boomer. I think we had the right amount of internet access at that time, so I don't know, but like, because I'm saying like the amount of stuff that kids can see now, the idea of being scared by like DVD covers,
or
like
all,
cutouts or posters, they probably laugh at you, because they've been watching like jump scare videos or whatever. Since that wasn't really a thing. But anyway, I remember going into the Blockbuster that was 10 minutes away from my house when the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween had just come out.
Wow.
And they had a huge standee of the Rob Zombie Michael Myers in there. And I walked in, you know that gif of Grandpa Simpson where he walks in, puts his hat on, and then walks straight out. I did that because it terrified me. It was just a bit of cardboard stood in the corner of the store being like, out now on rental. It would have been like 2000. The film came out in 2007, didn't it?
Yeah, something around then.
Around that sort of time. And I remember walking in there being like, "Oh my god, what's that?" And then coming out, my mum being like, "Yeah, that's Michael Myers." And my mum's not the hugest fan of the Halloween films anyway; they scare her. So she was like, "Yeah, no, it's pretty scary, isn't it?" And I remember it giving me nightmares. That
really?
standee,
wow.
And it was one of those ones where it had like in the center of the standee had like a miniature shelf full of DVDs in it, and you could pick up the Halloween and go rent it. But I remember it being scared witless. And again, the reason why I say I think we had the right amount of internet access then is like if I was a kid that had grown up like just a smidge later, I would have been, like you said last week, doing like the scary maze game or whatever, and would have been desensitized to scary things. But no, 7-8-year-old me was terrified of that cardboard cutout of Michael Myers.
On that note, should we move on to Blu-ray?
Yes, sorry.
No, that's fine. So so for me, Blu-ray was the first time I had gone up. Right, I'm up, and so I wanted to up the quality in my family, not for my family, but I was the one who was like, I need to get a Blu-ray. So I specifically
pioneer.
Yes, I was the pioneer. So my parents actually still have the first Blu-ray player that I bought. So I was like, so at the time it was still, DVD and stuff like that. But I was like, I spent money on like a Blu-ray player. I think it was a Sony. It was about 120 quid. Got it from John Lewis. And my dad was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, that's what I want. Got a few Blu-rays. So Blu-ray was when I was first made the jump into, I want to up my quality now. So yeah, and my parents still have that same Blu-ray player that I donated to them.
When do you think the first Blu-rays were made available?
I want to say something like 2000 and it seems like it should be quite early to me because I remember there being the H&V when it was the big double store, like 2 floors, sorry, and you'd go in and it was back right hand corner and it was just one wall and half was Blu-ray and half was HD DVD. It wasn't a massive section when it first started, and I'm pretty sure I want to go for something like 2007.
I think it. I don't know. Maybe a little bit earlier. Maybe 2004.
So, according to the up-to-date results as of 2025, Google says that the first Blu-rays were made available in June of 2006, 06. And it was a mixture of titles: The Fifth Element, Underworld Evolution, 50 First Dates, and then the classic title put out by MGM, The Terminator.
Wow.
Was one of the first 6 titles put out on Blu-ray on 0606 in June of
Jesus.
2006.
Cool.
I remember there being like a big push for Blu-ray. I remember the adverts for Blu-ray. Anytime you bought a DVD, around that sort of time, you put it in, there'd be adverts for Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Like upgrade, and it would show you all of one of the big things.
Oh, it would be like a side-by-side, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would show you. They would do like a side-by-side window panel comparison. They would also always plug the fact that, and again, I'm kind of like, you would have had to have. I don't know how this would have worked, but they would always advertise the fact that you could. Some Blu-ray players had the capability to have internet access, so when you were watching the movie, you could, using your remote, do like trivia quizzes and stuff. Yeah. Why on earth anybody? That's going too far to me. I know I've just sort of sat here and gushed about special features.
I remember there being an Ethernet connection in the back of the one I bought.
Yeah. I was going to say it must have been like a wired Ethernet connection, but they used to advertise that like while you're watching the movie, you can access the internet with your Blu-ray player.
But it was also to get stuff up like information on like cast and crew as well.
A bit like the X-ray feature on Amazon.
They used to call it like BD Live.
I remember. Yeah. But like always, you put on your DVD and you'd be like, I just want to watch, I don't know, 101 Dalmatians, and then you'd be like bombarded with an advert like, oh my god, coming out in November on Blu-ray disc. National Treasure Book of Secrets. You can do Blu-ray live search as you watch. I'm like, okay, fine. And all of these adverts now, if you ever, not that people do go back and watch DVDs all the time, but like they are incredibly dated. Yeah. I remember, and Disney was like massive for advertising because they re-released loads of their back catalogue, didn't they? On Blu-ray around like 2006, 2007. So whenever you bought a Disney DVD, it'd always be like, you can buy Peter Pan on Blu-ray. You can buy whatever on Blu-ray.
I remember this is jumping a little bit back. Talking of adverts on DVD, I remember there was a spate of DVDs which would always have an advert for either Mars or Snickers. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if I put that in now, I'm gonna watch an advert for a fucking Mars bar. I was like, I at that point I'm thinking like that was never a thing beforehand, having adverts on a DVD.
So we did. And this was actually after both of you had left the cinema that we used to work at. We did.
I wonder which one.
Well, we've never actually.
We've said it in numerous episodes.
We have actually. Yeah.
You two might have. I haven't. For someone that always worries about being the most inflammatory and saying the most like out of pocket stuff, I've actually been quite good at trying not to dox any of you.
You have been good.
I've never said that name, so I'm going to carry on saying the cinema that we used to work at.
That's fine. That's fine.
We did a private team showing, and this is for people that don't work at cinemas or haven't worked at cinemas, that is one of the perks that you're able to obviously use the cinema within reason when it's not open to the public. Anecdote now, we did a team showing of Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it was Dead Man's Chest, and it was a DVD, and some of the adverts on that were so like like adverts for things that have not been available to buy for like 10 years. It was great. It was really
like
fun.
A capsule back
exactly,
going back in time.
like a time capsule.
That's cool.
But yeah, we'll go back to Blu-ray. So what was the first Blu-ray, Dan, that you remember buying? Because you told us that you bought from John Lewis your Blu-ray player. The price of Blu-ray players, it does make my eyes water a bit, because I remember when we bought our first one, and again it was around that £100 mark. You can go into Curry's or John Lewis now and get one for 30 quid.
Yeah, I can believe that. And I was like thinking to myself, am I really going to spend 120, 130 quid on just the Blu-ray player? Is what I thought to myself. Like, I really am, aren't I? And the first Blu-ray I got was Inception.
Ooh.
And it was. Do you know what? When I picked it up when I was looking for everything else. I picked it up and I was like, they used to be weighty, because it had like 2 discs. It was always Blu-ray, DVD, digital copy. It was 3 ways to watch it. And so the first Blu-ray I got was Inception. Obviously blown away, absolutely blown away. But yeah, mad. But yeah, I couldn't believe how heavy it was. I was like, this fucking, there's more than just discs in this.
I do love those triple plays. And you'd
plays are awesome.
You'd always get people doing reviews on YouTube, and they'd immediately cover up the code, the download code.
Yeah. Which expires if you don't do it soon enough. I remember like you could get, and then you put it on your iPod Classic. Like in watching a film on an iPod. I never did. I downloaded it for the fact that I've paid for this. I need to obviously download it and make sure I've got a copy. I could never watch a film on an iPod.
I'm doing a download code giveaway. Put it in the comment section if you want to have this copy of The Maze Runner, and I'll pick a viewer at random, and then you can have the digital down. Did anybody ever actually?
No.
I think I attempted to do it once. I bought movies from the iTunes store to have on my tablet, and I rented movies on the iTunes store, but I don't ever think I used the triple play.
You just do the code through iTunes store.
Oh, is that how it worked?
Yeah, that was all it was.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah, my iTunes had tons of films, but I never put them on there to watch them. But I was like, I need to do it, or I don't want it to expire or anything like that. What about you?
Well, first Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I think it was Batman and Robin.
Nice.
Or Batman Forever.
What killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
He's putting like diamonds into his... How on earth diamonds powered his refrigerated suit?
What about you? What was your first Blu-ray?
There was the Arnold impression has reminded me. There was I've told you about this before. There was a DVD copy of Terminator 3 that you could buy. And it was a DVD that I had, and it had an unskippable intro from Arnold. And he was like on an unskippable intro. And this must have been, again, like in the early days of DVD. My first Blu-ray was really late in the game. It was Batman v Superman in 2016. Because I had a bit of I sort of dug my heels in stupidly and was like, I've spent all of this money like building a DVD collection. I don't want to have to replace them all now.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was like, no, Blu-ray is great. The quality is night and day. And I was like, is it really? Or are you just a schmuck for... You're listening to the big corporations, mate. That's what they want you to think. Like, Blu-ray ain't that good. And then he showed me a comparison. I was like, yeah, actually, it's pretty good. And I was excited because there was... they advertised that there was going to be like a 30-minute longer version of Batman v Superman, which obviously there did end up being. And the only way you could get it on home media was on Blu-ray, because I was just going to buy it on DVD, and I was like, I'm not buying Blu-ray yet. I want to wait a little bit longer, because I don't think it's a thing that I absolutely have to do right now. It's not like an emergency. But I pre-ordered Batman v Superman, got it on Blu-ray, and then the rest is history. And I went through a phase where there was a CEX like within walking distance of my gym, and every time, and I used to cycle to my gym because obviously I was 16, 17 at the time, wasn't driving yet, and every time I went into the gym, I would go in there and have a look and pick up like Blu-rays for like £1 each or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that. I want that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is great about the actual Blu-ray discs, and this was a perk that they advertised a lot, I remember, is they're really durable. They're almost completely scratch-proof.
Really?
Like
Not that I've tried to scratch
yeah,
it.
no, same. But like they last very, very well
Yeah.
compared to 4Ks. For as amazing as they are, I think it's because of the amount of information that's actually packed onto the disc. But they are really delicate, and if you get like even a tiny scratch on there, you'll have artifacts on your screen and stuff. It's really, they're really sensitive. You have to handle them with care. Whereas Blu-rays are really durable. I don't think I've ever had an instance of buying a second-hand Blu-ray and it not working.
Oh wow.
Can you guys ever remember like buying?
Yeah, 100%.
And like I'd say at least half of my Blu-rays are pre-owned. Like at least half.
I think I got, again with you, the same with you. There was a phase of going to university and not having tons of money, but obviously I was still collecting. Like I remember I bought Eastern Promises and History of Violence on Blu-ray. They were pre-owned and they perfect. I think I watched one a couple of years ago and I was just looking at it and it was so clear. Like for a Blu-ray, the quality is exceptional.
Yeah,
like really good.
That was one of the things that was. I remember the adverts on like TV and on DVDs. They would advertise Blu-rays and be like, the discs are more. I don't know how it had like the actual physics behind it, but the discs were more durable than DVD discs.
Yeah.
Like there were loads of DVDs that I had as a kid where once you got to a certain point, if you didn't handle them properly, they wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You'd put them on and they'd skip or they wouldn't register.
I remember having a copy of Wolf Creek on DVD, right? And I think I must have just left the disc out or something. And somehow like a chewy sweet got onto the disc, onto the bottom of it. And it was there for, God knows how long it was there for. But I remember finding it. I was like, oh shit. I remember taking the sweet off and it just left like this stain and it wouldn't play. It was so odd. But I felt gutted. I was like, oh, I just need to look after that more. Oh, it felt dreadful. But yeah, do you know DVDs are still the biggest seller out? DVDs, Blu-rays and 4Ks, DVDs are still the biggest seller in America.
Wow.
They hold, I think, pretty much nearly half of the market share.
Wow.
Mad.
Baffling.
That is pretty
mad. Do you want to see a couple of Blu-rays that I've got? Special
Blu-rays? What timestamp are we at now?
Hour and a half.
That's not bad.
Oh, it's about, yeah. Right, so first one.
This could be our longest episode yet.
The Watchmen, Dr.
Oh
Manhattan
my god.
head.
That's it.
That is so. You've got some of the coolest releases.
So yeah, so it's basically a plastic cast of Dr. Manhattan's head, which when you take it out, it literally all it has is the discs in it. So you open up the back of his head and it's got the discs in it. But yeah,
that's really cool.
It's weird. I remember just seeing it looking at me in my bedroom sometimes when I wake up in the middle of the night and it's just staring at me. It was actually quite off-putting. However,
so weird.
Not too much to actually buy it off of eBay. I think it's about 20 quid maybe you can get it for now. So it's not too bad. Mate. But The Watchmen is such a good film.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
it's been a while since. When I got it down, I was like, do you know what, I might keep it down and give it another watch at some point. I'm off for the next few days, so I might whack it on then.
Is this the insert, like the J card slip on the back has got the shot of Billy Crudup in the
in his
the displacement chamber. I can't remember what it's called. I should know because I love Watchmen.
Yeah, again, mind-blowing special features, and it has a list of special features, and they're all in HD. They have HD next to it to tell you that even the special features are in HD. But yeah.
Now, I have a copy of Watchmen 4K that is German. I don't know.
What is it with you two?
Yeah.
What is it with you two buying random language imports?
Mate. I will take a photo of it. It'll be in the Instagram post. I might put it next to that one that you've got there.
Yeah.
I don't know how on earth I came by it. I don't remember the story. It works 'cause obviously it's a 4K and those discs are universal. I think the Blu-ray would be a region 2 disc. It works, but it's obviously in German. I tried to take it to CEX.
I take it they wouldn't have it.
And they said no. Again, for our international listeners, CEX is like a pawn shop, but exclusively for
games,
electronics and stuff. I tried to take it in there and say like it's brand new sealed 4K, and he's like, "Nah, mate, it's German, can't sell it." Which is like, okay. So I'm stuck with. I have 5 copies of Watchmen.
Wow, all different.
Well, you think that's impressive?
Uh-oh.
Later on, when we get our closing bit, I've got some numbers from my because that's one of the things.
Looking for, yes,
that's one of the things I was going to talk about as we get close to the end. Like this sort of the mindset among collectors, this completionist sort of like I have to have every version, every copy that I see. This sort of collectors are a big part of the market. They keep physical media going, and there is no doubt when we start talking about the boutique labels and stuff. The whole reason they exist is because of loving collectors like us.
100%.
I have one last Blu-ray.
Wicked Blu-ray, yeah.
One last one.
Oh, I didn't mean Wicked as in like the musical.
That's what meant.
I meant Wicked as in like it's gonna be sick. Cause
so this is my copy for Old Boy.
Oh my god.
So this is an Arrow version as well. One of the first Arrows I bought. I had to buy it off of someone off of eBay, but it was brand new. But there's a couple of little bit of splits. But it's basically the elevator shaft that splits open and gives you all your content.
That is so cool.
But yeah, so that's one of my. This is one of my treasured ones because it's one of my favorite films of all time. It was the first one that I ever, probably the first ever South Korean film that I ever watched. And it comes poster, bit like thick hardback book as well, which is stylized in the books that he writes in. And then it's not just Old Boy. It's actually Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance and Lady Vengeance as well. And then a 4th disc just full to the rim of special features. So yeah, that's my betrothed in Blu-ray.
That is really cool. When do you guys think Arrow Films, because that's the official name of the company, when do you think Arrow Films? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say was created. Was founded.
Founded. I think it's earlier than we think because I remember getting a Hellraiser trilogy box years ago, and it was Arrow. Or was it Anchor? I can't remember. Anchor Bay? I'm not sure.
I'd say 90s.
Just quickly, was that the one that's shaped like the Lament configuration box?
No, it's just literally just a standard box set.
Because there is a really cool release of the Hellraiser films that's shaped like the box.
Yeah.
Arrow Films was founded in 1991.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
That's a lot earlier than I thought.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
It is really impressive. And they're still going... Well, they didn't make films, did they? It weren't like a studio, were they? Were they always kind of a distributor? Yeah,
so they're a British independent film distributor and restoration company.
Yes.
But yeah, founded in 1991. I'm trying to think if I have any cool Blu-ray releases because, again, this is where I think we're going to segue into talking about the boutique labels here because that's like you want to talk about cool releases. That's where you get them from. That's these boutique companies that do these amazing restorations that go out of their way to they're obviously handled with such care and attention by really passionate people.
Are you asking me what ones now?
No, I'm just saying this is like a good way for us to start talking about them, isn't it? Because I don't really think there's much else we can say about Blu-rays, and Blu-rays has a nice crossover because boutique labels do Blu-rays and 4Ks. What was the first time you became aware of boutique labels?
I'll probably say for me it was the first proper boutique label I bought was I think it was an Arrow, or it was an Arrow one, not this one because at the time Arrow wasn't a massive thing when I bought this Old Boy one. I I actually can't remember. Arrow was definitely the first boutique label I bought, and then I got into Second Sight and started seeing the Second Sight stuff and thought that's kind of, I think I was lucky enough to get my hands on a copy of the latest Blair Witch one, which is one of the ones that goes for stupid money now, that people just buy them and just whack them straight on eBay for like 150 quid, which scalping like that really bugs me, because it gets the problem like film fans, it just like prices them out of a move. But they are Second Sight are very good at what. So with the Blair Witch one, they've restored it, but they always usually do it with like somebody that was involved in film, like the original director or the DOP, and it's got the theatrical cut on it. It's got like two cuts of the film. It has a separate disc, which is just a 90-minute documentary made by the people at Second Sight on the making of the film as well. And then obviously a ton of extras, like a 150-page book with it as well. And it was about £40, I think. And I think that's pretty much the going price for those kind of titles from them, right?
Yeah.
Because you bought one recently, didn't you? Was it?
Yeah, $39.99 for scanners.
Yeah, and that was a 4K as well, wasn't it? So usually with 4Ks, you're looking at about a starting price of $24.99 anyway, aren't you, for a standard?
For a new release in this country, like as in like a new 4K, maybe not a brand new film, but yeah, about £24 from a high street shop or from Amazon. I just wanted to give like I'm pretty sure most people, if there's any people listening at all, they're probably going to be well initiated and they know what they're talking about. But if anybody listening at home that doesn't know what a boutique label is, they are sort of home media distributors of films on Blu-ray and on 4K, and they basically specialize in giving you like a premiere product. So they usually go above and beyond. And more often than not, this is not always the case, but more often than not, they will do a restoration process for the film. So it's usually back catalogues and older films rather than sort of new releases. But there are some labels out there like Mubi and the Criterion or whatever. Obviously Mubi makes films as well, but they will release newer titles. But more often than not, it's older titles. They'll go back to the original negatives. They'll do new scans. They will clean it up for archival purposes. They will restore the films and then release them with loads of special features. A small list of some boutique labels, and you might have heard of some of these. We've obviously spoken about Arrow Films already, but you've got Kino, Shout Factory, Severin, Vinegar Syndrome, Mubi, and then obviously I think the most well-known one around the world is the Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
And the Criterion Collection have been going for a long time because there are titles that you can buy that were released by Criterion on LaserDisc. They've sort of gone viral in the last sort of like 10 years because they have a mobile Criterion closet.
Yeah.
I'm using air quotes. It is like a small, exactly like it says on the tin, closet.
It's like when you used to get the library come to your school on the back of a van.
Exactly. It's like
so.
a small mobile library closet that they have where they interview filmmakers and actors. It's normally not like your A-list stars or like blockbuster filmmakers. It's usually your more art house or independent filmmakers and actors. But they've had all sorts of people on there of varying degrees of like fame and household name-ness. I don't even know how you want to describe that.
Yeah.
But they'll get these people in. They have interviews with them. They talk about their favourite films. And then they get to pick to take home with them titles from the Criterion's library. Criterion sort of pretty much set the standard, I would say, for these sorts of boutique labels.
Cause I feel like that, especially because you pay, like, obviously a lot of their stuff, especially over here, you get it more in America, but over here you kind of get more of just a standard version of a Criterion film, and then but you still pay more than you would do for a normal 4K like new release. Like I think
exactly.
Was it like Lost Highway? You got Lost Highway recently, and was that? Oh, hang on.
Charlie's got it to hand.
But like that just for like the kind of 4K, no extra bits and bobs and stuff like that. It was like is more than what you would pay for if this wasn't a Criterion.
Exactly.
You know
so you pay a premium price, and they more often than not will do a restoration process with the original camera negative. They'll do interviews with the directors, and what sets Criterion apart, at least on the shelf from other Blu-rays, and this has become a bit of a meme among physical collectors. physical media collectors, is they will have a sticker on the front that says a director approved restoration, or a director. It's a blue sticker, and it usually has the director's signature. So people, it's become a bit of a joke online. Do you keep the sticker because it's on the cellophane on the outside? Do you peel the sticker off and put it on the front of the pack, or do you throw the sticker away with the cellophane? I like to keep the stickers. Charlie obviously doesn't, because he hasn't got the stickers on his.
I haven't got any of them yet.
But yeah, you can. And again, they don't typically do releases for like blockbusters or AAA things. They have done before, like on the odd occasion. But again, it's more your sort of independent art house, highbrow cinema. So Charlie's got 2 David Lynch films.
Only 2 Criterion films.
I must say, this Eraserhead one is really nicely packaged.
Yeah. The Criterion Collection is when I first became aware of boutique labels and what they were, because I went to pre-order a copy of The Irishman on Blu-ray, and it was 30 quid. And I messaged my friend, who is a lot cleverer and more in the know than I am. I said, mate, why? And he'd been collecting Blu-rays for a longer amount of time than I have. I was like, why the hell is this copy of The Irishman 30 quid? He was like, 'cause it's a Criterion, dude. I was like, yeah, but it's still a Blu-ray. Like, it's not going to cook me dinner or give me a shave or anything. Why is it 30 quid? He was like, it's a Criterion. He's like, a Criterion, dude. So I Googled it and I found out, oh my God, that's what it means. And I did my own research, and that's when I discovered what boutique labels are. I'm a huge fan of the Criterion. I have 47 titles on Criterion. I'm also a huge fan of Arrow. Sorry, I've got those numbers confused. I have 47 titles on Arrow and 42 titles on Criterion. Now, compared to some of the collections I've seen, again, on Twitter and Facebook, that is a very meager collection. But I'm still quite proud of it.
Yeah.
The first one that I can remember buying in hand of a boutique release, I can remember buying in person, was the Arrow video release of An American Werewolf in London, and I bought that from HMV.
I've got that one. Is that the one with the hardback box?
Yeah,
I got that one
great.
as well. Yeah.
I love that film. It was a great release, and I was like, this is way worth the money. And I went on a bit of a spree after that and was buying as many. So I think I've got about 6 or 7 of the Arrow video, like the thick versions, like the collector's editions that come with the booklets.
Yes.
And the lobby cards and the fold-out posters, and then the rest I've just got the standard versions.
Yeah, so they always do, these boutiques always do a collector's more expensive version and then a standard edition.
Yeah.
They don't just do like a collector's version, that's the only one you can get.
I don't know about all of them, but certainly, Arrow will, yeah.
I think I'm kind of similar to you. I think Arrow-wise, I've got the most recent ones were Inglourious Bastards, Good, the Bad, the Weird. I think my first one that I bought Arrow-wise for that 4K one was The Lighthouse. That was the first one I got.
Yes, we have the same one.
Yeah, so that was the first one I got. Second sight, the first one I got was Blair Witch, and then I recently got High Tension, the French film. That's the most recent one. But yeah, there are people on Twitter that I've seen that have got every single second sight one, the hardback collection, all lined up, and you're looking and thinking just how much money has actually been spent on that.
One of my neighbours is very much like that, and he has them on display in his kitchen on a floating shelf. He has, I'd say, at least 25 or 30 of like the thick collector's edition Arrow. And I think to myself, if I had that many, I'd also put them in the kitchen so people could see if I'd invested that amount of money into it. But yeah, no, I have a bit of a gripe with the fact that, and I think we've said this before in passing, so many of the Criterion titles that are available in America aren't available here.
Yeah.
And so I have had to import quite a few of them. So Raging Bull, for the longest time, you could only get in the States. Antichrist, you could only get in the States. The Silence of the Lambs, you can only get in the States on their Region A locked Blu-rays. So I've had to import quite a few of the Criterion collection. And frustratingly, Barnes & Noble, which is obviously a big chain bookstore in the States, I think it's twice a year, will do like a Criterion flash sale where for like 48 hours, every title is 50% off. And I always get just seething jealousy and envy when I get the tweets up. be like discussing film, will say the Barnes and Noble sale is on now. And I'll be like, I'm in the UK, I can't do. HMV will do like a sale, but it's never usually, you never usually get that same price. It's never like
Arrow usually do quite a good sale as well.
Yes, they do a spring sale.
They do a spring sale. They do because they do quite a few horror films. They do a Halloween sale as well.
Yep.
But
I think Arrow is known for its horror, isn't it? Really, above all else.
Second Sight never do sales. Their prices are their prices. I don't think I've ever seen them do one.
I've never seen any discounted.
Another one that didn't get mentioned, 88 Films, which recently done the American Pie re-release, and I think they're doing the next 3, so American Pie 2, 3, and American Pie Wedding and Reunion. I think they're redoing them as well. They've also been doing a lot of Jackie Chan and Jet Li restorations and releases as well. I've got one of them. I've got the Fist of Legend one. I'm probably going to get the other 3 that they've released. But they've also done stuff like Cannibal Holocaust and a lot of Italian stuff as well. So they're quite varied as well, and they're doing all right.
They always have the yellow packaging, don't they, on the front of them?
For the
horror,
yeah.
So you can easily identify them if you're in a shop, a physical media shop. They're like bright yellow. But yeah, something I said earlier. With all of these formats that have developed over the years, and then all of these boutique labels that have come out, and steelbooks. So I was talking about how I think steelbooks sort of got overtaken by boutique labels in terms of their popularity. Because I collected steelbooks a lot when I first got into Blu-rays. I was like, this is great. Yeah. And I have steelbooks that I I forgot I even bought. I have steelbooks for so many films that I'm not even a fan of. I went through a phase where I was like, if it was on steelbook and I saw I had to have it. And there are some people that have posted online. There's some wicked displays. If you can get like magnetic paneling or whatever, you can just slap them on the wall and they are cool. And some of the designs on steelbooks are pretty cool. Obviously, you want to take the disc out before you put it on a magnetic paneling. But aside from a handful of releases I can think off the top of my head, there was nothing different in terms of the content.
No.
Like, yes, now, frustratingly, sometimes when a new 4K title will come out, or like a new release, it might be like locked to a steelbook release for like the first month or so.
Yeah.
So like Taxi Driver last year came out in this country on 4K, and you could only get it for like the first 3 months as a steelbook, but then they released the standard version. But like I'm talking on Blu-ray, for example, you never got anything extra. It was the same disc, the same content. The only difference was it was a metal tin.
Yeah,
that it was coming in.
Yeah,
and now I kind of feel like it's a bit of a swindle when you put it like that. Do you not think?
I have never been interested in steelbooks really. Okay. So I bought the first steelbook I ever got. I didn't mean to get it. So I asked for Cloverfield Lane. Is it 13 Cloverfield? The second 10 Cloverfield Lane. So
great film, by the way.
Great film.
I love that.
So I asked for that on Blu-ray, and then for I think it was my birthday, and ended up getting on steelbook, which didn't bother me. The same happened again with Blade of the Immortal. I got the steelbook version. I didn't ask for it, but that was the version that I got. And I've never really gone out my way to. If a steelbook's announced, I don't really go for it. The only other time that I've actually got a steelbook was for this one, because it came. It's like one of those. It's like a collector's version, but it came with a steelbook.
Ooh,
bringing it out again. The Event Horizon 4K.
Oh man!
So it came with a steelbook. Oh well, the only other steelbook I got is the American Psycho one, because that's cool as shit. But so the Event Horizon one came with a steelbook, which is like slipcase with package on it, which is really cool. And then it's got Sam Neill digging his eyes out at the front in the air, and then the steelbook is really cool. But the only fact that I've got this one is because it came with the extras, which include poster, art cards, pin and patch, and the poster is a blueprint of the Event Horizon itself, which is pretty fucking cool. That's the only reason I've got this steelbook, is because it came in the collector's edition that I wanted. If it came in just a normal DVD case, it really wouldn't have bothered me.
I'm putting my foot down. The next episode we do is an Event Horizon episode. I'm sorry, people that are excited for Timothée Chalamet, you have to wait. We're doing Event Horizon next.
I think Event Horizon is also one of the ones that I've got on VHS, so I just need a Blu-ray version, and I've got
4 copies.
4 copies, yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie's got something.
I've just got a little fun, little Blu-ray collection.
Oh,
nice.
and that's an arrow as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So the artwork on the covers, if you want to pass it around,
that's heavy as well.
yeah. Critters was one of the first films I watched with friends when I probably, at the time of my age, I shouldn't have watched. Obviously, I've watched them recently, and none of them are scary at all. But I think I watched them. I think I watched Critters 1 when I was 7. So
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the artwork on each individual case, even the Blu-ray sign at the top's all metallic as well, which is really nice. The artwork on those are great.
Let's have a look.
I think as I said, the book is like quite a few pages, like 100 and something pages,
and it's hardback as well.
Hardback.
Oh, it's got the old school posters in it as well in the back. That's cool. That's a really nice collection.
I've never seen any of the Critters films.
I think I've only seen the first. I think
they're the best of B movies, my friend.
I was going to say that could be worth an episode. The first one.
Yeah.
All 4. Go hard or go home. I really like that collection.
That is really cool. He's got another one.
The other little fun, little.
Oh hell yeah! This is right up my alley.
Is the Universal Monsters Essential Collection,
and there is
So I think there's 8 on there.
There is 8. Oh my god!
Could see Bela Lugosi from here,
and it comes with a booklet as well.
A booklet as well.
I'm saying it comes with a booklet. People probably who list this probably are not fussed about the booklet.
Turn the booklet over, and it's like the.
Oh
yeah.
That's cool.
Have you guys ever been to the BFI shop, South Bank?
No.
That is a great shop. You should check it out if the next time you're in central
BFI
London.
also have a label as well, didn't they?
Yes, yeah,
they do. Yeah.
So
we're just the table is slowly getting the table is slowly getting piled with media. It's quite a nice thing to see, actually. Wow, this is actually quite a good collection we've got here between us all.
Yeah, man.
So a point I was going to come to earlier. This is why I've made some really scrappy, just jotted notes. Is obviously with films being released across multiple formats and then like different labels putting out different releases, collectors are bound to end up with like multiple copies of multiple films, which is something that I have ended up with over the years. Some of my favourite films I have bought on, being a bit of a hoarder, I've never really gotten rid of any, so I've bought them on DVD, then on Blu-ray, and then on 4K. Some of them I've got on VHS. So I have quite a number of duplicates in my collection, and I've made a list.
Amazing.
Here. So again, I have, compared to some people out there, quite a meager but modest growing collection that I'm quite proud of for a 24-year-old. But I have 4 copies.
So these copies, are they 4? Are they one like of each certain media, or are they possibly 4 Blu-rays?
A mixture. I will explain when we get up into the higher. I've started at 4 because most
is that the lowest number.
No, most films I have like 2 copies of.
Okay.
I'll have like at least a DVD and then I've upgraded to Blu-ray, or I'll have a Blu-ray and then upgraded to 4K. So most films I have 2 or 3 copies of. 4 is where it starts to get kind of interesting. So, Heat, The Thing, 1982, Superman the movie, Superman 2, Raging Bull, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Star Trek The Motion Picture, Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, Final Frontier, and Undiscovered Country. I have 4 copies of each of those films. Four copies.
The Thing.
Yep.
Is that the I'll take it. One of them's the 4K one.
Yeah, one of them's a 4K.
Is that the 4-disc version?
Yeah, the master that comes with the soundtrack and the remake.
Yeah, so I've got that. I think I've got 3 copies of The Thing.
Yep.
I've got that one. I've got a DVD.
Yep.
And I've got a Blu-ray double feature of The Thing 1982 and then the Thing that came out in like 2011.
Yeah.
That's what so I've got 3 of that. But 4 is
one I have the exact same as you, and then I have the Arrow video.
Oh,
Blu-ray.
Of course, yes.
Watchmen, 2009.
Wait, how many is this for? 5?
I'll say in a minute.
Okay.
Watchmen, RoboCop, 1987, obviously. The Silence of the Lambs, Dawn of the Dead, 78, The Exorcist, and The Terminator. I have 5 copies of. So, The Silence of the Lambs, I have on VHS. Thanks to you guys. You bought it for me as a gift. Dawn of the Dead is a thing where I have... I bought the...
You've got the 4K Arrow.
Got the 4K Arrow, the Blu-ray Arrow, 2 copies of it on DVD, and then a standard Blu-ray, like a box standard Blu-ray release. Watchmen, I have 1 copy on DVD, 2 on Blu-ray, and then 2 on 4K. But the 4K, one of them is in German.
Yeah.
This is not counting the fact that 4Ks used to, at least, a standard come with like a Blu-ray copy.
Yes, they do.
So if I want to be facetious, technically I can say I have 6 copies of all those films, but I'm just counting them. So we're going up a bit. They do get the lists get smaller as the quantities go up.
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049, and Batman v Superman. I also have 5 copies of. The Blade Runner is just the final cut, because if I was counting all of there's like 5 cuts of that. If I was counting all of them, there'd be like 11, 12 copies. So moving on. Star Wars 77, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and Man of Steel. I have 6 copies of.
Wow.
I do love me some
Man of Steel. Hats off to that one. I'm that. Yeah, that's a worthy of a 6.
The business end of the collection. The Dark Knight, I have 8 copies of.
8 copies of The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I went through... You'll notice a trend emerging amongst these films. They are the most dude bro sort of like co-worker movie film bro films. They're like all from like the IMDb top 200.
Yes.
They're all like proper film bro. I don't care. I love them. The Dark Knight, I was going through a phase when I was slightly younger where I had to have any version of if it was a film that I particularly liked, if I saw it out and about in public, I just had to get I just had to get copies of. So even if it was like the exact same disc, like on Blu-ray, but it had like a different insert.
I was going to say, are they all slightly different?
They're all slightly different.
Okay,
it's
cool.
not like I've just bought like
You've just seen one in the wild, are they?
No, look, there's an account on TikTok that I find quite funny that's trying to build the largest collection of Titanic on VHS.
I've seen that,
and he's got
his whole house is like
hundreds of like floor to ceiling.
Jesus.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
They're all slightly different.
Okay.
So like the RoboCop one, for example, I have a copy on DVD. I have a copy on standard Blu-ray. A copy is like a Blu-ray trilogy pack, the Arrow Blu-ray, and then the Arrow 4K. You see what I mean? They're all slightly different. I haven't just bought the same 8 copies.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, one is on DVD. It's the 2-disc special edition. And then I've got it written down. 4 on Blu-ray. One of them's a steelbook from Zavi. One of them's another steelbook. I can't remember who it is. One of them's a standard 2-disc Blu-ray release. And then one of them's the same Blu-ray release, but the insert is white. It's kind of hard to explain. Like the spine is white. It's a rare. It's like a for like a Batman movie. It's kind of rare to have like a white spine. I think so. I saw it in a shop once. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I've never seen the Dark Knight with a white spine. And then I have 4 on 3 on 4K. Yeah. 1 standard release, 1 film book, which when I bought it a few years ago was about 80 quid. Still sealed. And then HMV did these amazing releases of like all of the Batman films over the last 2 years, and they're like that, the thickness of your Event Horizon. They're massive. They come with like lobby cards, fold out poster, everything. So I've got one of those. So 8 copies of The Dark Knight. The Godfather, I have 10 copies of, and The Godfather Part 2.
Oh, that's just The Godfather.
Yeah. Oh. And The Godfather Part 2, I have 11 copies of.
You nearly had 11 and 12 because
me
and Charlie went to get you the 4 VHS box set with the extra
tape,
VHS, but it turns out that was also all in German, so you wouldn't have understood a thing.
I mean, so the Godfather, I have the Godfather Part 2, which is I have more copies of that than anything else in my collection. I have 1 VHS, 5 Blu-ray, 2 DVD, and then 3 4K. And one of those 4Ks came in that wonderful big hardback book that I spoke about earlier. Just 'cause it's one of my favorite films. So yeah, that's not like in the case of The Dark Knight. It was just like I went out and saw that. I was a bit like, oh, I want to have every version that I see. But it wasn't like I was going out of my way. I'm just a bit of a hoarder.
Yeah.
Like I always had a copy of The Godfather on DVD for as long as I can remember. Then I got gifted a second copy on DVD. I bought it on Blu-ray when I got into collecting Blu-rays. Then I was also gifted a copy on Blu-ray by a family member who didn't know that I already had it. And then when the 4Ks came out, I wanted the hardback book. Then I wanted the steelbook, and then again I got gifted another. So it's not like I've gone out of my
Yeah.
The VHS I bought because I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
But it's just it's just like how I'm sure there are millions of people around the world that are in the same boat.
Yeah.
Just by nature of the beast, like they want to stay up to date with the technology, so they want to have their favorite films or whatever, and they end up with like.
I feel like I could easily do it. Like I said, I'm most likely after getting these out would like to get a Blu-ray version of Event Horizon. So then say I've got VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. I think that's perfectly standard. I think that, but I would probably only do it for like my top films, like the ones that I'm like I think I've still got the Old Boy on DVD, and Blu-ray. I think so. I would happily do it for the top films, but 11 copies, 11 copies,
and again they're all like these. They're all just your typical film bro, film dude.
Like you said, IMDb top 250. Yeah.
Co-worker movies, but I don't care. They're great.
I mean, like you said, there are definitely people out there that have, like you said, the Titanic thing.
Oh, mate.
I mean, sometimes when you just move away from the mic, I get scared because I don't know what you're gonna do.
I move away from our setup is I always have the mic really close to my face, so that I don't want to get what's the word I'm looking for. I don't want to get too far away and risk not getting picked up, but it's quite uncomfortable because I have to lean all the way back in my chair.
Okay,
so I sometimes just move the arm out of the way so that I can just relax a little bit. Just before we wrap up, is there any releases coming out in the next sort of like 6 to 12 months that you guys are really excited for? Have you pre-ordered anything?
I wouldn't say I haven't pre-ordered one, but obviously Arrow are doing like the ultimate remaster of the Good, Bad, the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More. I've mentioned before there's a second sight version of Dead Man's Shoes coming out, which I really want.
Same.
Apart from that, I'm not too sure what else personally. I'm 100%. I haven't pre-ordered anything. Charlie's giving the look of
one thing pre-ordered.
And what
Talk to Me.
Oh yes,
Second Sight.
of course. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yep. Talk to Me Second Sight coming out. I'm not really personally. I again, Arrow do so for those that if you are wanting to get into a boutique collection or anything like that, Arrow do a announcement about 3 p.m. on the last Friday of every month of their releases that are happening. I think it's like 3 months down the line. So they've always got like 3 months worth of pre-orders, and then each month, like I said, end of last Friday, 3 p.m. they'll always do a kind of showcase release of what's coming out later on. Second Sight do a bit more of it's kind of random. It'll just pop up. They don't really say about it. But if you're interested in looking at more Arrow collection stuff, then that's probably the best time to look is then. But yeah.
Shout Factory did a restoration of RoboCop 2.
Oh, okay.
Irvin Kushner's RoboCop sequel that I really like. I really, really like that film, and it's on 4K. That came out like a while ago, but Shout Factory's a bit of a difficult one. They are like US based. We're quite lucky in that Arrow is obviously based here in the UK. So like Arrow's, I've never had any difficulty getting a copy of anything from Arrow. Unless it's like massively out of print.
There are ones that they so when they do their announces, there are some that are specifically for the
like,
US,
and Canada, but they're never like they're never exclusive. We always get the same titles, whereas this RoboCop release, or RoboCop 2 rather, hasn't come out, I don't think, here in the UK yet. So I put it on the back burner and I was like, I'll import a copy at some point. I don't know if it's still available or if I've got to go through third parties or aftermarket now. I would like to get that because I really like that film.
Yeah.
And the release looked good. It had some nice artwork. That's one of the things we haven't even spoken about. Well, I know we're going to wrap up now, but like what I really appreciate about Arrow, and I don't know how many other labels do this, is the reversible artwork.
Yeah.
So when Arrow release a new title, they'll commission an artist to do a piece of artwork to do with the film. What they'll usually do is the insert for the Blu-ray case is reversible, so you could have the original theatrical artwork or the new artwork. Sometimes, and I don't mean any offense to any particular artist, I think the new artwork is crap. But that's only because I'm like, the original posters are so iconic. Like the Hellraiser trilogy, for example, I immediately put the original artwork on those three because I was like, those are sick. The new ones are really minimalist, the new artwork. Whereas sometimes the artwork is really striking and really cool. Like I know when they did the Candyman 4K, the artwork, which was still from the Blu-ray, but still the artwork they commissioned for that was actually really cool. Like Tony Todd creeping in from the corner with loads of honeycomb around him and stuff.
It's the same with the American Werewolf in London.
Yes,
Arrow. That is, it's like a painting.
Well, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Candyman was my first Arrow film.
Oh, was it?
Was it?
Yeah.
I love Candyman. Great film. Did you go see the remake? The remake.
The remake.
The Nia DaCosta. Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching it. It was like on Film 4 at one point late at night, but I didn't get to finish it.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's a good place for us to wrap up this really unprofessional impromptu.
I don't think it was unprofessional. It was us all gushing over what we love. I don't think it was unprofessional whatsoever.
Slightly less structured than our normal episodes. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I'm not, and we're close to topping longest episode again. We always do.
We do have some bits to cut out, so maybe.
Yeah, but that's been great. Anything else you want to add at all, Charles?
No, nothing from me.
No. How about you, Ollie?
No, I've hogged the airwaves too much this episode. I do apologise.
Well, like we said before, we might do. We'll most likely do another one of these. Talk about Fizz and upcoming release and stuff like that. Maybe Ollie will bring in some of his VHSs or other things that you would like to showcase because he didn't this time. I've definitely got some other bits that I want to bring in and show you guys, but you know it'll be a while. But we might do some updates and stuff like that. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Next episode, Event Horizon.
We will see. We'll see. But it's getting these out. Like I said, like when getting the Watchmen one out, I'm like, I'd need to rewatch that because I haven't seen it in so long, and just getting them out has made me want to rewatch so much that I haven't seen for a while. So just a couple of plugs then. On Instagram, we are The Missing Scene Pod. And on X, we are Missing Scene Pod. You can follow us all on Letterboxd. So, Ollie, you are OJB, all caps. Oh! You are Westwood C. Yeah, go me. I'm just Daniel G. I'm bored. You can follow us, or you can find the link in our bio for our link tree, which has links to everything, and listen to us every Friday, or from Friday, 6 p.m. On Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. I nearly forgot that last one. Well, it's been a pleasure, boys. It's been really nice, actually.
Been great, yeah.
It's been great, yeah. Right. Well, thank you, Ollie. Thumbs up from Ollie. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
Right, and listen to us next week. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.